Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my second video, so if you haven't watched my first video, please go ahead and watch that first, where I explain about my journaling ecosystem. Today we'll be setting up my commonplace notebook, and I would think that a lot of people in the journaling community are familiar with the concept of commonplacing, but I don't know, I think everyone has their own way of going about it, their own style. So I'm briefly gonna explain for me what that is. And that is just a space to process things more deeply, to basically gather other people's ideas or facts or things that resonate with me and put my thoughts on it. It's kind of my personal archive, collection of information and facts. It's also this practice of commonplacing for me. It's a way to remember useful information. So this can be your guide to commonplacing, and you can use my system. Feel free to use my system. I think my system is also very similar to a lot of other people's system. So let's get started. First, let's start with the cover. So I'm just gonna find a sticker, and I'm gonna use this sticker book. I got this from my mom for Christmas. We're just gonna scroll through it a bit, and I'll try to find something I like to put as my cover. I want something that matches the black of the journal. Oh, one thing I forgot to say is that this is a moleskin notebook. It's on the size A5 and it is grid like this, as you can see. Anyway, I want something that matches my black cover, and I want something that kind of will scream commonplace book or scream information or knowledge or anything related to that kind. Oh, I really like this one. This kind of reminds me of a book cover, and this will kind of be my commonplace book, also reading journal and everything. So oh, I think this one can also be quite nice, but I think the black on black might not be something I will like. Oh, I think these two are also quite nice. But I think after going over the whole book, I'm not gonna go for this one that I just talked about. I thought of maybe going for, oh, I really like this one. I might just go for this. And I like this more than I like these, maybe. I think I'll go with this one. I find this very beautiful. And it's also a good size for the notebook. I think it also matches really well with the black. So that's set. So now that the cover is done, we're gonna move on to the key. I might put a postcard here and the key here. I am not gonna think too much about the postcard. I'll just put this one, and I think it's very fitting. I think it also fits the cover. One thing that you'll notice, and that you probably noticed in my previous video, is that when I write, I don't care if the writing is wrong. So whenever I write a piece of information, I don't really care if it's spelled exactly right or something like this, because I think, yeah, I don't really mind. For me, journaling is like a fun little activity, so I don't really care if it's written not correctly. So I'll just take now this acrylic marker and I'll just write here. I'm curious to see if it bleeds through. I don't like to call this key because I don't like writing K in cursive, but also I just feel like it's not that personal. My previous one had, here I just had color system on it. So I think I'm just gonna keep that vibe. I'm not gonna put color system, but I'm gonna write system. I don't really like it, but we're gonna go, maybe I should have done it with brown, something less strong, but we're just gonna go with this for now. So for this notebook, I had these dot stickers laying around from an art project from my high school, and I'm just gonna put them in here, and I'm gonna write what these are for. I think these dots are maybe too big. I do have these smaller ones, but I don't have of every color, and there's more variety of colors for this one, so I'm just gonna go with the big one. Anyways, I think this will also be easier to spot within the pages. I'll also put them kind of close to each other because you can see that for one dot it's like 3 lines, and I probably won't need that much to write the specific sections, so I'm just kind of going with the flow. So okay, this is my color system. There is a bit of ghosting, but it's honestly not as bad as I expected. This page is also a bit thinner than I thought. So here I have my sections. So for science, I'm gonna put green, of course. I usually do topics on bio or psychology, so I'm just gonna write this like this and I'm gonna leave it. For art, I am going to do pink. I'm not closing the brackets because if there is a section that I want to write more on, I will just add here. But I'm basing this off my old commonplace book and which sections I used for what and what topics I talked about. So it's mainly related to that. I think hobbies will go in purple. I think history I will do orange. And then for politics, I will do blue. So then I put media, and then I'll put in here articles, YouTube, TV shows. Oh, there is one section I forgot, which is on museums. And I think this one can be on books. I wanted books to be separate and not include them in the media because I think my books, I go on a bit more in depth. I elaborate more on, I write new words that I learn, I give a review on the book, so if I liked it or not, so it's a lot more extensive and I really wanted it to be separate. For media, basically, my intention with this was engaging deeply with any YouTube video or article or TV show, and I put articles in media because it's not necessarily scientific articles, it's kind of like essays or blogs or things like this that I engage with and I want to comment more on. But for science and politics, I think it's kind of pretty self-explanatory, same with arts and history. Hobbies is just like any facts related to my hobbies. So yeah, like I said, photography techniques, or if there's some journaling related things. This for museums is also like things I learn at museums. I don't put them in a specific category because I like also to rate museums. I like to go to museums and not only write here then things that I learned, but also what I thought about the museum, about the facility, were the paintings organized in a specific manner, you know, so also engaging with museum as a whole and not only about the content I learned there. So let's move on to the entries. I have some things here I would like to talk about. I don't mind not being perfect with the lines because there is a general guide here, and also I kind of like the looks of the lines being a bit wobbly. So as you can see here, this is how I'm writing. So I put a picture here, a bit about who he is. So he's a filmmaker, and then a bit of the movies that he did. And then here I don't write long sentences, so I don't say like he is known for having long takes in his movies. I just write long takes. It's more to keep it short, plus I think when you have it like this, it's a lot easier to go back to it and refer to the information than to read long pieces of texts. And then I'm gonna put a quote of his in a different color. Yeah, I think this yellow is a bit more like toxic than the photo, but it's okay. I like how it looks. So this is this entry I'm done with, and based off of the key, it's related to art. So it's related to an artist. So I'm going to put the pink dot. And I want to see how this page looks all put together. Okay, I like it kind of. I'm going to do a stop here, and I'm gonna include about this artist. I'm not sure because I just wanted to put here and put the name. I didn't want to do anything else, so I'm not sure. Maybe I'll start talking about another artist. I think that might be better. I will do that. Also, since you already saw my process for this one, I think I will just skip this, and I'll be back when I'm done with this spread, and I will just show it to you. So this is how it turned out. This section, I ended up having the same issue, like breaking the page down here and then having this and then having some empty space, but I think I'll just leave it because I also don't know if I want to elaborate on this further. I don't feel like journaling about this right now, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put this away in the pocket. So this was me setting up my commonplace book. I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to comment anything that you liked, that you didn't like. Do you have a commonplace book? Do you want to have one? And how would you go about setting it up? Is it a system similar to mine or not? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.